Effects of a life with allergies. In recent years, a growing number of people have been dealing with allergies, ranging from sneezing and itching to more severe reactions like breathing difficulties. But what's behind this increase? Let's explore some factors contributing to this unpleasant surprise. Imagine plants as little friends who love to throw pollen into the air, a fine powder they use to reproduce and grow. This pollen, carried by the wind, is super important for nature, but it can cause problems for many people. What happens is that when we breathe in this pollen, the bodies of some people think they are being attacked by something dangerous. That's when the body's defense system, called the immune system, springs into action as if it's fighting off an invader. That's why many people start sneezing, their noses itch, eyes turn red, and even their chests can feel tight. Now what's changing is that with global warming, the world is getting hotter, and this is more than just about temperature. These climate changes also affect how plants behave. When the planet heats up, plants produce much more pollen than usual. Additionally, seasons like spring, which used to be short, are getting longer. This means that plants have more time to release pollen into the air, turning life into a real challenge for those with allergies. If before the allergy season lasted only a few months, now it can extend almost the entire year, especially in some regions. So those who had seasonal allergies, which only appeared during certain times, now have to deal with symptoms for much longer. And it's not just the amount of pollen that's increasing, but also the intensity of allergic reactions. Some people are developing allergies they didn't have before because their bodies are becoming more sensitive with so much exposure. Another important point is that it's not just the typical local plants releasing more pollen. With climate change, some species of plants that used to grow only in certain areas are starting to spread to new places. This means people who had never been exposed to these types of pollen may start developing new allergies. It's like a new wave of allergens is invading different parts of the world. And that's not all. The increase in temperatures also contributes to air pollution, which makes allergies even worse. When the air is more polluted, pollen mixes with pollution particles. And this combination can be even more irritating for people who already have allergies. It's like the air is carrying a combo of things that can irritate the respiratory system. So, with the climate changing and getting warmer, what was once a simple allergy season can turn into a nightmare that lasts much longer. That's why more and more people are feeling the effects of climate change directly on their health, especially when it comes to allergies. Now let's talk about pollution. You know that smoke we see coming out of cars or factories? That's pollution, and it ends up in the air we breathe. When we breathe in this dirty air, our bodies don't like it at all. It's as if our nose and lungs are saying, "Hey, what is this coming in here?" Indeed, then they start to fight against the pollution, which can make us sneeze, cough, or even feel short of breath. And there's more. When the air is full of pollution, it also carries things that can cause allergies like pollen and dust. It's as if pollution helps these things become stronger and more bothersome to people. So, besides breathing in bad air, those who already have allergies can feel even worse. The body is already fighting pollution and then has to deal with allergies too. It seems like too much at once, right? Now imagine that favorite food you love, like a delicious cake, ice cream, or a piece of chocolate. But for some people, certain foods which seem harmless and tasty can be like villains in disguise. When these people eat these foods, their bodies start acting strangely, as if they are trying to defend themselves against something dangerous, even if it's just a tiny piece of cheese, a fruit, or even a peanut. This happens because the bodies of people with food allergies confuse these foods with something bad and dangerous. The immune system, which normally protects us from viruses and bacteria, begins to fight the food as if it were an invader. The result? Reactions that can be quite unpleasant, like itching, stomach pain, swelling, or even more serious problems like difficulty breathing or swelling in the face. In some cases, these reactions can be so severe that the person needs to go to the hospital immediately. Lately, more and more people are discovering that they have allergies to certain foods. It seems that the number of people with allergies is increasing rapidly, and this is a big concern. Many foods that were once considered safe, like milk, eggs, wheat, and even peanuts, are starting to cause reactions in people who never had issues before. Even less common foods like exotic fruits or certain types of fish have been causing allergies in some people. But why is this happening? Well, today's foods aren't exactly the same as they were in the past. Many of the foods we buy in supermarkets are processed, which means they go through many steps before reaching our plates. During this process, they are packed with preservatives, colorings, additives, and other substances that may not be so friendly to our bodies. With so many things mixed in, the immune system can become confused and start attacking even the natural ingredients in the food. Additionally, the way food is grown has also changed. Today, many fruits and vegetables are produced in large quantities and may be exposed to pesticides and fertilizers, substances that can contribute to increased allergic reactions. The human body, which is used to dealing with simpler, natural foods, might find these new substances strange. Another factor that might be contributing to the increase in food allergies is our lifestyle. People are being exposed to certain foods at younger ages, and the body isn't always prepared to handle that. For example, some experts believe that introducing foods like peanuts or seafood too early or too late in a child's diet can increase the chances of developing an allergy. And of course, there's also the fact that the body is becoming more vigilant, ready to react to any sign of danger. This may be related to the theory that in very clean and controlled environments, the immune system doesn't have many real threats to fight. So it ends up overreacting to things that aren't really dangerous, like a simple piece of cheese or a slice of bread. All of this shows that the rise in food allergies is a complex phenomenon with many factors involved. What used to be an exception is now becoming more common, which makes it important to better understand what we are eating and how our bodies react to food. Now imagine you live in a city full of buildings, cars, and lots of people. This is what we call urbanization. In cities, we spend a lot of time indoors, at home, at school, or at work, in closed spaces. And in these environments, there are a lot of things that can cause allergies, like dust, pet hair, and even mold growing in damp corners. At home, for example, we might not always notice, but tiny things like dust mites, tiny creatures so small you can't see them with the naked eye, live in our pillows and blankets. And if someone is allergic to them, they already know. Sneezing, an itchy nose, and even chest tightness are on the way. Plus, in cities, we use air conditioning a lot to stay cool or warm. But it can also spread these little villains around, making allergies even worse. It's as if these enclosed spaces are full of invisible traps for those who are already allergic. That's why living in cities can be a challenge for allergy sufferers, because allergens, things that cause allergies, are everywhere, even when you're indoors trying to relax. Did you know that being too clean can sometimes mess with our bodies? This is what some scientists call the hygiene hypothesis. The idea is that if we live in a very clean environment, our bodies don't get the chance to get used to small dirt, germs, and bacteria. This might seem good, but the immune system, the part of the body that protects us from diseases, ends up without training and starts reacting too strongly to things that aren't really dangerous, like pollen, dust, or certain foods. It's as if the body gets confused, thinking it needs to fight against everything, even when it's not necessary. This can make allergies more common, especially in places where people live in very clean environments and have less contact with nature. Stress doesn't just affect the mind, it can also harm the body, including increasing allergies. When we are stressed, our body releases substances that put us in alert mode, which can worsen allergy symptoms. This happens because the immune system becomes more sensitive and overreacts to things that wouldn't normally cause problems, like pollen or dust. People who live under a lot of stress, whether at work, school or home, are more likely to have more intense and frequent allergies. This is because the body is already busy dealing with stress, and any other factor, like an allergen, can be the final straw that makes the immune system explode in an allergic reaction. Fortunately, medicine has been making great strides in treating allergies. One of the most promising advances is immunotherapy, which works like a vaccine for allergies. Over time, a person receives small doses of the allergen, and the body learns to deal with it without overreacting. This can help reduce or even eliminate allergy symptoms in the long term. In addition, there are new medications that are more effective and have fewer side effects, helping people better control their daily symptoms. Another innovation is the use of air purifiers and more efficient filters that remove allergens from the environment, such as pollen, dust, and pet hair, providing a better quality of life for allergy sufferers. With these advances, it's possible that many people will be able to live more comfortably, even with the rise of allergies around the world. If you liked this content, subscribe to our channel.